All right, so for this video, I will be breaking down the Myron versus Tatum, aka Talmud Tatum, aka the gorilla. Can't even say it. I'm joking. I'm joking. Someone said it in Myron's chat. All right, it's a joke. Don't take it serious. I make fun of myself too. It's cool. We'll be all right. Anyways, the way I'm gonna do this is I already have everything breaking down. I have timestamps. I have everything ready. So it's going to be pretty interesting. All right, so for this first part, we are going to talk about a claim that he makes here at around
common enemies, and I think Israel's position in the Middle East, and they've been just that. I mean, in order for us not to have our troops fighting on the ground and dying for every war that goes on in the Middle East and fighting against enemies that hate America, they wish death to America, we have strategic partners like Israel. And with technology and other things that Israel brings to the table, outside of our Judeo-Christian connection, that's pretty much why I think that they are a partner for us and why they are beneficial in America, for America's interest. And we can see that on a lot of scales. We'll get to it in the,
Okay, so here's why he's actually wrong here. So this actually overstates Israel's strategic value to the U.S. by implying Israel prevents U.S. involvement in Middle Eastern wars. So historically, U.S. alliances with Israel have actually drawn the U.S. into conflicts, for example, via intelligence sharing leading to the Iraq War. And rather than insulating it, Israel has not fought in major U.S.-led wars like Iraq or Afghanistan beyond intelligence. And U.S. aid to Israel is like $3.8 billion annually. By the way, guys, I'll add links to everything that I'm referencing to, and if I'm missing anything, let me know. So yeah, we give them like $3.8 billion plus annually, which subsidizes Israel's military without reciprocal ground support. So logically, this evades the fact that Israel's actions, for example, settlements and strikes, often escalate regional tensions, requiring the U.S. to intervene. For example, like vetoing UN resolutions, right? And even from a Christian lens, alliances should promote peace. You can find this in Matthew chapter 5 verse 9, right? Not enabling endless conflicts. And to substantiate this, the U.S. Government Accountability Office reports on aid, Council on Foreign Relations analysis shows U.S. involvement in the Middle East often tied to Israel, like the 1973 Yom Kippur war aid. And no evidence Israel has fought wars for the U.S. Like, there's just no evidence for that. Israel's conflicts are self-interested. All right, so here is the next breakdown. Pay very close attention to this part.
Necessary. We don't engage in every single war that comes up and every single war that is beneficial for Israel, right? We're not fighting in Gaza, and we had limited capacity to fight in Iran. We're not fighting Hezbollah. We're not fighting any of these other front wars that Israel is fighting currently. We're not putting.
So, all right. So this is why he's wrong. Okay, I'm going to explain in detail. This is very misleading. The U.S. provides extensive indirect support. For example, weapons, intelligence, vetoes at UN, etc., for Israel's wars, effectively engaging without boots on the ground, right? The U.S. has supplied munitions for Gaza operations and defended Israel against Iran/Hezbollah via naval deployments and airstrikes. For example, the 2024 U.S. strikes on Houthis in Yemen tied to Israel Gaza. And yes, you can find all of this online and in the resources that I'm dropping down below. So this creates a false dichotomy. As we all know, that's a logical fallacy. I love pointing out logical fallacies. The U.S. involvement isn't zero-sum, but enables Israel's actions, costing us diplomatically and financially. Plus, philosophically, this evades dual allegiance issues, contradicting the no divided loyalties from James chapter 1 verse 8. Now, let's substantiate this. The U.S. State Department reports on arms sales, Reuters/AP coverage of U.S. military aid in 2023 through 2025, Gaza/Iran escalations. For example, $14 billion plus an emergency aid package. Guys, do not let Tatum, Officer Tatum, mislead you, okay? He is capping. The guy is not being very honest here, okay? And as you guys know, I already made a video, which I'll link down below in the description, why this is not even biblically supported. And he's just, bro, this is the problem with Protestantism. Protestantism has effectively and indirectly also murdered people. Why? Because they start off building this platform, this foundation of supporting Israel, supporting the Jewish people with undying allegiance, just incredibly ridiculous allegiance that once you try getting out of it because you realize that it's a problem and you realize that you can't because everything you've built was founded on Jewish support, right? It's going to be very hard to get out, which I'm just saying, I'm speculating. It could be that my boy Charlie Kirk, rest in peace, my boy, probably got taken out by one of these, them juice boys. You know what I'm saying? The juice took him out. You know what I'm saying? Which I pray to God it's not true, and it sucks that it even happened. But it's true, guys. We gotta not interpret the Bible so subjectively. The Bible has objective interpretation. All right. If the Bible can't objectively be interpreted, then you're implying that God's word or God himself is not objective and that we have an objective God. I mean, a subjective God, right? Which would be a complete contradiction. Okay. God is not illogical. God is not subjective. He is objective. Okay. And I break all of these ridiculous dispensationalist interpretations in that video that, again, you'll find in the description down below. All right, let's move on. All right, guys, y'all need to listen to this, bro. This is getting out of hand. Like, check this out, bro.
Would have liked it to, but it was an American's decision to do that. Israel didn't even help in the war in Afghanistan and Iraq. They didn't help in any of it. They didn't have boots on the ground.
Yeah, and they're the ones that got us
shared.
In. That's
what
makes it so bad.
Well, they shared intelligence with us, but they didn't fight in the war. So,
oh my gosh, bro. Yeah, dude, that's like saying your cousin didn't steal from you. He just borrowed your EBT card and gets the pin. I don't even know if freaking EBT cards use pin numbers, but you know what I'm saying. Like, sure, there were no boots on the ground, but they sure put their fingerprints all over the mess. Mossad slid us that so-called intelligence about WMDs in Iraq, which, spoiler alert, there weren't any, unless you count Saddam's shoe collection or something, and then boom, 4,000 American coffins later, we're still wondering why gas costs more than child support. Like, this is insane. But hey, let's keep pretending it was just us, right? Meanwhile, Israel's sitting back like that one dude in group projects who doesn't lift a finger but somehow ends up with an A. Except in this case, the group project cost trillions of dollars, thousands of lives, and people can't find a job because we're too busy rebuilding sandcastles in the desert. So yeah, technically Israel didn't fight in the war. They just pushed us in the pool, watched us drown, and then asked for more floaties. Oh man, bless their little hearts. Alright, so again, Tatum here, not being a good sport at all.
The thing, if you want to say it was a joint venture that went south, then I wouldn't disagree with you that it was a joint venture. But to blame Israel and blame the Jewish people or Jews for the entire scenario, I think is disingenuous. The commander in chief,
all Jews. I'm blaming the Jews that were in power that wrote this stuff.
The Jews are in power, but you got to understand, unless you are saying that George Bush had absolutely no he had no fight in the game, or he had no say in what we do in the military as the commander in chief of the United States military. You have to act as if somehow he don't have any say or he's not responsible whatsoever. Well, that's almost obfuscating responsibility from the bad policy positions of our own government.
Oh my gosh, bro. Oh my gosh, dude. Like, dude, that would be like this. What he's saying is like blaming diabetes on the fork. Sure, the fork delivered it, but somebody was baking pies in the background. Myron didn't say all Jews. He called out specific people. Wolfowitz Faith, or Feith, however the hell you say his name. What's that guy's Pearly part? Whatever the hell his name. The neocon trio, you know what I'm saying? That loved Israel more than they loved a balanced budget. These geniuses wrote the clean break memo back in 96 for Netanyahu. Basically a to-do list. Step 1, knock over Iraq. Step 2, destabilize the neighborhood. Step 3, profit. Then, PNAC comes along in 2000 with rebuilding America's defenses. Translation, let's go spread democracy like a virus. And Bush, don't act like he was writing policy in crayon all by himself. He had Cheney and a Rumsfeld whispering sweet nothings in his ear, while these pro-Israel neocons were in the back office drawing up maps like they were redecorating the Middle East. Meanwhile, Mossad was handing us that busted WMD intel, cause nothing screams credibility like weapons that don't exist. So no, it ain't all Jews. It's not even all Israel. It's specific people with specific agendas, and pretending otherwise is like watching a magician pull a rabbit out the hat and swearing the rabbit got there by accident. Come on, man. Truth means calling it like it is. Look, if you look at Ephesians chapter 4:25, what does it say? Speak the truth with your neighbor. Even if your neighbor is handing you a war you didn't order. Come on, G. We can do better than that.
Alright, man. I think I'm just gonna do this last bit here because I just can't handle all the capping, man. If you guys actually want to see like the rest of the breakdown or more of the breakdown, I'll just leave like a freaking document that you guys can look at. But if you want me to break it down live or break it down like this, make another segment, then just let me know. But I'm just gonna play this part for you guys.
If you want to argue that Jewish influence had a part in it, of course it did. Of course they were our allies.
That's precisely the problem. You have American politicians that are Jewish that are putting the needs and the needs of a foreign government.
And Americans.
No, there was
every politician is not just Jewish.
No, well, I'm not saying every politician. I'm talking specifically.
I'm saying you got to say the entire Congress, out of entire Congress that approved wars, especially in both House and Senate. Let me explain. How many Jewish people were involved in that?
Almost all the framers, all the people that are pro-war, right? The people that were the decision makers. Remember, let me say this too. Bush was effectively asleep at the wheel with the whole war and the war on terror. Bush was extremely inexperienced, incompetent. It was Dick Cheney that was running everything. And under Dick Cheney...
Dick Cheney's not a Jew.
No, I know. But everyone underneath him, right, that were the framers of the war, right, were either hardcore Zionists or Jewish. Okay?
Okay, let's make a difference there. Are you saying that your argument is Zionism and Zionist? Or are you saying that Jews are the problem?
It was both Jews and Zionists. The ones that aren't Jews are super pro hardcore Zionists. So, but the reality is, but that's a problem. That's a big problem.
I think the problem is that, how is it a problem? If you want to say that unwavering loyalty to Israel, in a part that affects America negatively without any due diligence, that is a problem. I agree with you. But when you bring up Jews as if it's somehow uniquely Jews are involved in this or they're leading the charge here, I disagree with you.
Oh man, dude, this freaking guy, bro. I need to relax. You see, Myron wasn't saying all Jews. He was not saying that. He wasn't saying all Jews run foreign policy. He was pointing out that specific pro-Israel Zionist types had their fingerprints all over the Bush administration's war machine. Over half the Middle East policy seats were held by these folks. That's not coincidence. That's like walking into Popeyes and being shocked you smell chicken. You had 7 out of 25 PNAC signatories Jewish, pushing regime change like it was a gym membership. You had AIPAC dropping $100 million a year and lobbying, greasing palms like a Krispy Kreme conveyor belt. But when you mention it, suddenly you're the bad guy because, oh, you're singling out Jews. Nah, bruh, you're just allergic to math. Nobody said it was only them, but the influence was outsized, disproportionate. Like your uncle who eats half the Thanksgiving turkey then says, "What, I just had a little plate." So stop with the straw man. Criticizing a lobby or powerful individuals ain't anti-Semitism. It's called facing facts. Even Politico, even the financial reports from AIPAC, even the Israel lobby book lay it out plain. Denying that denying that is like looking at a slot machine that keeps hitting 777s and saying, yeah, but luck had no part in it. Please. The whole casino knows better, man. And so do you, Officer Tatum. Come on, bro. You can do better. So, guys, if you liked this small little breakdown, let me know in the comments. Just let me know if it's actually worth breaking my head over this. And like I said, just check the description, man. You'll find a bunch of good stuff. All right, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.